Hello, property nomads. Hope you're doing well. So, nuclear, surprise, surprise. We've spoken about this many times before, and you're not going to be surprised to know that, of course, between the French company EDF and the UK government, there seems to be a bit of a balls up on the latest nuclear project. Yes, not really a surprise at all. And you do wonder why some things just don't really get done here in the UK. So I've got an article here, and as usual, we started to put the articles in the description or in the comment section below. So just go and check that out. It actually comes from the Financial Times via MSM. And what's basically happened is that the French government is now pushing British government to provide loan guarantees for Hinkley Point C. So Hinkley Point C, if you're not aware, is this massive nuclear station project down in Somerset. And it's been in the pipeline, pun intentional, for many, many a year. Now, because of various things and people like to drag their feet, the dynamics and the cost have changed. So EDF, who is the French state-owned utility company, basically came out last week and said that the cost of the new nuclear power station it's building in Somerset could hit as much as, and be ready for this, £46 billion. Now that's expensive. That's also up from 18 billion in 2015. So in 9 years, the cost of building this plant has increased by £28 billion. Okay, £28 billion increase in the last 9 years. Now, there's a multitude of reasons as to why that's going to be the case, but rather than have a moan about it, all of this could have been dealt with years and years ago. But because of the very beleaguered planning system and people moaning about nuclear being built and the road and the world was a bit rosier in 2015 than it is at the time of recording this video, things get pushed down the line and this happens and that happens and all. Yeah, next thing you know, we get all these pandemics and a cost of living crisis. And oh yeah, by the way, the build cost of this have increased by, what, 160, 170% in 9 years. By the way, who's going to end up paying for that? Oh, you guessed it, it's going to be you. Because if EDF gets its way and the government does provide a personal guarantee or backing for this project, then that's something new on the liability sheet or the asset sheet, whatever column it needs to go on. And then, yeah, of course, in order to pay for that, yeah, you guessed it, your tax is going to go up some way, in some way, shape, or form, whether you like it or not. So again, because of the ineptitude of governments and politics, again, you and I are faced with a big fat bill because people didn't want it to get done years ago. By the way, actually, you should just tax the protesters who complained about this in the first place rather than tax everyone, because that's not really fair. Anyway, what makes this situation worse, and going back to this article, is under the contract that was drawn up about 10 years ago, any construction cost overruns at Hinkley would have fallen on EDF rather than the British taxpayer. So again, because of very long and arduous processes with planning and people complaining and people being anti-nuclear and all these eco-zealots, if everything would have gone through 10 years ago, we'd have been looking at an £18 billion cost. We also would have been looking at anything that any cost overruns would have been an EDF issue. So it would have been a French issue, not ours. But because people are complaining, people are whinging, people are moaning and, all that sort of stuff, and the planning process has taken a long time, yada, 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 the cost of the project is now gone up by £28 billion. And rather than any cost overruns being on EDF, so rather it being a French problem, oh, it's now a UK taxpayer problem. So, but it's funny how the article is sort of looking to blame the French and to blame everyone else for this, rather than actually looking at ourselves in the UK and going, do you know what? If we were just a little bit more authoritarian in the right way, then this could have been dealt with a very, very long time ago. The terms would have been much more favourable to Britain or to the UK because of how the deal was structured. And now it's not favourable, but the article fails to point out that because of planning processes, because of eco-zealots, because of all of this, because of all the above, and whatever it is, a relatively favourable deal has now it's now turned its way into a non-favourable deal, and it doesn't. The Financial Times doesn't seem to want to bash the very people that have cost us £28 billion, hypothetically. So congratulations to the eco people. Well done. The cost of going nuclear now has risen extortionately so. And again, everyone's got to pay for the brunt of this. And that to me makes no sense. There's no justice there. It's very injustice. I think anyone that complained about that, you should be forking out £28 billion rather than now having everyone else equally take that responsibility, because nuclear is the answer. It helps towards our energy security, and things like this don't help. And the way it's been reported is that EDF are the bad boys. And, if I was investing nearly £50 billion in something, I think I'd be wanting guarantees. So I don't blame EDF for this at all. It's prudent business. Even if they're backed by the French state, it's still prudent business. It's just ourselves, again, have seemingly shot ourselves in the foot. We could have dealt with this a very, very long time ago. We decided not to, because again, planning eco warriors, and it's now going to come back to bite us in the ass. Congratulations, fantastic. And just a small favor to us, please subscribe to the YouTube videos, the channel itself. Give us a like. I think the like button's up there or wherever it is, and tell as many people as you can about Property Nomads on YouTube, because the channel is growing and it's all thanks to you. But yeah, nuclear's up the spout on this particular deal anyway. And again, I don't think the article's done the UK government any favours or any eco warriors any favours. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.